And welcome back to Legally Speaking with the McLario firm. Work is hard enough as it is, right? And nobody wants to get hurt or sick while on the job, but unfortunately it does happen.
That's right. And joining us now is attorney Michael Bertling. He's from McLario with information about workers' compensation and the importance of it too. Good to have you back, Mike.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about injuries. I mean, obviously, as Molly said, nobody wants to get injured. It's not fun, but it happens. So what kinds of injuries are actually compensatable?
Well, first off, obviously they have to happen on the job.
Okay.
And they have to arise out of the job. And there's two kinds. There's basically the one that everybody understands, and that is you fall down, you break a leg, you hurt yourself, something falls on
Obvious.
you. It's traumatic at that moment. The other one, though, is a little bit more difficult to really prove, but you can do that. And that's somebody who has say a bad back. You're a little bit older, you have some arthritis, you have some disc issues, maybe even have some aches and pains. But you do something on the job, either all at once and it becomes more painful, or slowly over time it begins to become more and more painful. And if that's caused by the job, that then becomes compensable entirely.
Wow. You know, one of the things I've always wondered is what if the area of the injury, you mentioned a back, let's say, what if it's an area of the body where someone's had pain there before, or maybe it's the same where they've had some type of injury?
Right. Workers' compensation, again, if something happens on the job, and it can happen over a long period of time, if you're lifting every day, if you're maybe working a keyboard a lot for your wrists, as long as the work exposure accelerates or aggravates that pre-existing condition, and you can prove it, that's compensable. The whole thing is compensable, even though somebody might say, well, you had problems before. Shouldn't we, maybe apportion part of the treatment to the problem that was there before? No, it's all workers' comp.
Wow. Okay, so you notice you're injured, or because it's traumatic. Either way, what do you do when you're injured?
Well, first off, obviously if it's a serious injury, everybody's going to know.
Yes.
But if it's something like you pick something up or you hurt your back and you kind of finish out the shift and you limp home, that's probably not a real good idea, because you come in the next day thinking, well, I'm going to report it now. You went home, and that sometimes can give the workers' compensation carrier the possibility of saying, well, you must have done something at your home that night, and now you're coming in trying to claim it. So what I think you ought to do, and what people would tell you, is you should report it right away to your foreman, a supervisor, just make a verbal report and see where it goes from there.
Sometimes they recommend doctors, right? Whether it's the insurance, I guess, who recommends, here's the doctor to see. Right. Is that a good idea?
Well, they have the right to do that. But a lot of people, that's when they start calling lawyers a lot of time, because they go, hey, they want me to go see their doctor. Do I have to do that? And unfortunately, yeah, you do. They have a right to do that at least once. And, probably what's going to happen is their doctor is going to say it's not related to the job. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. But you do have to do that. You do have to do that, so you really can't get out of it.
So then can you see other doctors, and how many of those doctors are covered?
Right. You can go to your own doctor. Sometimes the employer will say, we want you to go to this clinic. That's kind of our clinic. You don't have to do that. You can go to your own doctor, and you can get all the treatment that doctor recommends. Now, you're only allowed 2 doctors to choose from. But if that first doctor refers you on to somebody, and then you refer it on to somebody else, and again and again and again, and they're all the same referrals, all those doctors are still covered by workers' comp. If you go outside of that chain, you get to see 1 doctor for a second opinion, and that doctor's covered.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
At what point during that process should you call someone like you, who's an attorney, to help you? Is it only after someone's been denied?
Here's the thing. In workers' comp, the attorney fees, which are 20% of the benefits that the attorney gets you, they can only be awarded if the attorney goes out and gets you something. If not, the attorney gets no fee, and it costs you nothing. So actually hiring a lawyer doesn't cost you a dime. And you could hire them early on, and they can kind of sit in the background, and as long as things go well, there's no need for them and there's no fees. So, you should do it early, but most people wait until something happens. It's denied.
And would you advise that things are going well too? You would say, hey, things are going well. Let's just kind of leave this here and let it keep moving.
Yeah, I sit in the background. I don't rock the boat. I don't
Yeah.
want to send a letter out and then the insurance company or the employer gets all
Heightened.
worked up. Yeah. So I'll sit there until something happens. And if I sit there and nothing happens, there's no fee.
Wow.
I'm sure a lot of people have trouble sometimes deciding even if their injury is work related. And on that note, it doesn't necessarily have to happen in the office where you're employed, the warehouse, wherever that physical location, because it could happen remotely or something like that too, right?
Yeah, if you're on business for your job, if you're traveling, as long as you're within the scope of employment, you're doing something for your employer, it's compensable. Car accidents are a big thing when someone's driving for their boss going somewhere and they get in a car accident. That's workers' comp.
Got
Okay.
it. I know you do free consultations, so we'll give all the information so people can talk to you, maybe have you in the background, help them out when it's time. Good to have you here, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you can contact the McLario firm for a free consultation. Just give Mike a call. It's 262-251-4210. Or for more information on all areas of their practice, you can visit their website. It's McLario.com. There we are.